Hi, it's Ricky of Moshville Times here once again. Now, tonight we have Tymvos, who are another Scottish-based old-school death metal band who have been around for a few years and have managed to release their debut album, World of Abominations, but more of that later. So tonight we've got guitarist Marcel, we've got bassist vocalist George, and we have drummer Leo to tell us all about it. Unfortunately, the other guitarist, Mark, cannot be with us tonight, but that means that we've got free rein to take the mick out of him. So no apologies there to you, Mark. So yeah, who the devil are you guys? It must be an exciting time for you.
Actually, yeah, it's a pretty exciting time, to tell you the truth. I mean, we have the band like since 2021, I think. We started just before the pandemic.
Yes.
Then obviously the pandemic happened and we were kind of like, okay, now we're stuck, we cannot do anything. And it was kind of like an early Christmas like present when the studios opened eventually and we started like practicing again while we were writing songs at the same time. And yeah, look at us now. 3 years later, we managed, yes.
Absolutely. We're still you're further on than a lot of other bands. But during the pandemic then, since you brought it up, when things began to open doors again, did you find yourselves in back gardens and bringing the guitars out and stuff like that, generating riffs?
Nah, we were lazy for that. No, we were just like, we just found like, the perfect timing to, the perfect excuse not to do anything. So we're like, sorry, we cannot do that. It's very dangerous.
Well, I was going to say something there. No, I'll keep that for later then.
Right.
But Tymvos, you released your debut album, World of Abominations, in February of this year. So even though half the album was from your demo release in 2021, that's actually what I was going to say. So you say you are quite lazy then. You only wrote 4 more new songs in 3 years. So I was just wondering if you're going to be like a doom metal band. No, but the question I'm going to ask you is, how does it finally feel to release it after all the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into it?
See, I'll tell you what, actually, there's a backstory for that. That's why it took us like that long. We actually recorded that album 3 different times. So
What
yeah,
happened?
nothing really. Just like that, the friend of ours who did the production,
Yeah.
he's a very particular guy. So he doesn't want like shitty job. So as I said before, like, we were testing the waters. We were kind of like sending him demos here and there. And because I am kind of impatient, to tell you the truth, I was kind of like, okay, so you like the sample? All right, I'm gonna, record all the vocals and double vocals and this and that and the bass. I was sending him my parts, and they were like, no, that's crap. You need to do it again. And
Wow.
yeah, unfortunately, he had some health issues as well, so the thing was not working like very fast, in a very fast pace.
Were there times then that you felt like this wasn't going to be released? Were you
We had
demotivated or anything?
I think that at some point, yeah, we were kind of like, man, what's gonna happen? Are we gonna have this album at least? But to tell you the truth, man, it worth like every single like day of waiting. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm so excited about that. It's been so many years that I was playing like in several bands, death metal bands also, and that was exactly spot on about the production.
Yeah.
The thing that I was always waiting for in my life, to have an album that's gonna sound like that, and eventually we have it. So yeah, fair enough.
Brilliant, brilliant. You same with yourselves, Marcel and Leo. Was this like the first official release for yourselves being in a band, or have you like released things before? But again, how did it feel to finally get it out there?
Well, actually, I think I'm correct in this, but I think I'm the only guy in the band who wasn't in any other kind of band in the past. So it's the first time for me being in a band and to experience all of this. So yeah, as we said, starting with the pandemic and all that, it was very, very challenging for a while. But finally, I mean, just to answer your previous joke, the main reason we included the same songs was that we were so proud of this material. It had been with us for so long.
Yeah.
And we really, really thought that it would be worth having this material with this level of production rather than just leaving it in some demo we had done. But yeah, finally, we got there in the end.
Yeah.
And it just blew us away. The kind of level that we reached, the kind of level production and sound we reached in the end.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have hoped for anything better. And for me, being my first experience, it was first time the charm, right?
Oh, you've got your name on this, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can see it okay. I don't know how to do it. No, I'm not good at it. There it is. There
There
it
you
is. Tymvos,
Right.
World of Abominations. You do have your name on this. So well done to you, sir. Well done to you. But look at the smile on his face, guys. Look at the smile on Leo's face. He's so proud of this. And rightfully so. Especially when I had to do the drums 3 times, but never mind. But Marcel, what about yourself, mate? How was it for you?
So actually, I didn't take part like with this album. Like when I joined the band, they were like in the very last beats of this. So yeah, I'm not part of this, and I never released anything with any other band. So yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of time for you to contribute to the next one. But I still, when you said that you joined at the last part, I bet you brought the best part of the album with you, though.
Yeah, the thing like when I joined, they showed me the demo. I was like, I don't want to touch it. This looks so good. Like if I do anything here, I'm gonna make a mess. So that's it.
No, excellent. Thanks very much for that, guys. But I've just got a simple question for you. We're going to start talking about the album now. So, simple question. The album's called World of Abominations. So, obviously, it's the first track of the album. But were there numerous titles for the album? Or did somebody say World of Abominations in the studio and that was it? That's going to be the title of the album? Or did you have a list and you chosen this one? How did the title come about?
Good question, actually. I don't think that we had like,
I
you
do
know,
try.
yeah, no. That's a very good question. Unfortunately, the answer is not gonna be as exciting. I don't think that we had like that many titles in our head, because basically we had the idea for the front cover, right?
Yeah.
And we sent it like to that girl, like the artist. She made it like in a very nice way, as you can see it like in the front cover anyway.
Yeah.
And we were just like working around it. We were like, okay, could it be something with a portal or whatever? It doesn't have to be like a, you know, like the title of a song necessarily to be like the title of the album as well. But then eventually it works all right because, you know, just like kind of like a portal into a world of abominations. So I think it worked pretty well in the end. Yeah, it was, I think, Leo's idea actually. That he says like, why don't we call it like this? And was like, actually, yeah, sure, let's fucking do that. Yeah.
George wrote this song and he came up with this title. But I thought that's the one it suited it best. I mean, I thought that's what it should be called.
It's nothing to do with the fact that you're a massive Morbid Angel fan, is it, Leo?
I give the title to George, to be honest. Yeah.
No, good stuff, man. Like I said, it's a great title for an album. I just wondered, it's sometimes a question that I do like to ask bands. But also, obviously, Morbid Angel is like an influence as well. But seeing some guitar solos, especially, I hear a wee bit of Autopsy as well, like Mental Funeral Autopsy as well. So I would have liked to ask Mark about that, but oh, well, he would have had his 5 minutes of fame, but that's he's not here tonight, so tough.
That's long gone now. That's long gone.
Yeah.
We'll be here for the next album.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it better not take another 3 years, let's put it that way. I've got enough grey hairs as it is. I'll be bald the next time the next one comes out. But although this is your debut album, were the thoughts of it ever being an EP on the back of the demo that you released a few years ago, or was your chosen choice of release always going to be an album and get the name of Tymvos out there? Because I know that obviously we've talked about, or Leo mentioned that the demo was 4 songs and the other 4 songs are brand new. Did you ever thought of doing the 4 songs brand new? Or is it like, as Leo said, we really wanted them to get the justice that these songs deserved and release them on an album?
Look, to tell you the truth, it's just like it's a way of, first of all, when we had like the first 3 songs, we were like quite happy with them. Yeah. And we're still happy with them, obviously. And what Leo said before is just like 100% true. Like, we were all of us like, you know, we love those songs. They were the first 3 songs that we ever wrote, and we're like, no, man, this good material. It would be a shame, you know, not to be included in a like good production album and stuff like that. Which, mind you, we still love like the production of the demo, right? Which Mark. The thing though was that it just like yes, there are like good songs, there are like fun songs to play. And also, I think that at the time we just wanted really like to release something just like to show our face like to the scene.
Yeah.
So that maybe like we just released those 3 songs and we're like, okay, that's us. Listen
Yeah.
to us. And then we're like, yeah, sure, like we're gonna keep them like for the album. Why not? Because as I said, like while we were just like doing the demo and all of those things, we were still writing more and more songs.
Yeah.
Until when we reached like the number of 8 songs, we're kind of like, well, that's us. I don't think that we should like, just change anything. If it works, why change it, right?
And imagine like one or two of the songs are actually quite old. So I know the album only came out in February, but you're already starting to look at what you're going to be doing next.
Well, like next album, you mean?
Or is it going to be an album that you're going to do next, or is it going to be an EP you're going to do next?
To tell you the truth, we have already 8 songs done. So
Okay.
okay, no, it's just demo tracks. So yeah, no vocals or nothing. Just like we're fooling around, we're coming up with ideas. We gather them all together, and we're like, okay, that could be a song like for the next album, or it's work in progress. We have
Yeah.
like kind of just a primitive like version of a song.
Yeah.
Let's
Do you already see subtle differences in the sound from this
so, yeah.
album to what you're going to be doing next?
I would say so. I mean, like, the addition of Marcel obviously is like, a very big step up because
You said step up, yes.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because yeah, we started like, already like working on double guitar parts and things like that. Like, because we sometimes like we sit down and like we're writing together. Before, like in the previous album, it was pretty much like a story of like, okay, I have that riff. What do you think? Oh yeah, that's a good riff. I'm gonna carry on like with another riff or something. Now it's just like we started writing as a band,
Yeah.
So yeah, that shows, I think, in the last in the in the final product.
Yeah.
Which is gonna end up like being an album, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I usually do my research and my prep and things like that, but I don't know if you've actually had really in-depth interviews before. And I know that a couple of you guys are Greek. I know that Mark's Polish, and everything else. So how did you all get to find each other? Were you on the same course at college or something like that? Or how did you find each other?
Well, I knew Mark since, I don't know, like about 7 years now or something, 8 years. And I'm living like in Scotland like for 11. So he was like one of the very first few metalheads that I met like when I moved in here.
Yeah.
And, we've been like in 2 bands before together. He's the go-to guy, to tell you the truth. He's like, okay, I know him, I trust him, he listens like the good shit. So yeah, Mark is my man. There you go. And
What
yeah,
about Leo?
Yeah, Leo, go for it. Tell our love story.
Yeah, I think we were already 3 or 4 years. We were friends with George. We just met through work here in Edinburgh, and then he knew that like I used to play the drums. To be honest, when he met me, I was retired. Let's say. The reason being that after I tried to move my life from Greece to Scotland. It was very challenging for the first couple of years. Very challenging with
Is
work.
it because you didn't see the sun in that first couple of years?
Well, of course, as well. But trying to set up a life here was hard. So I could not afford,
Yeah,
to
Edinburgh's an expensive place.
bring over a kit or buy a kit or something like this. But when George came to me, who was already a very good friend, and he was just like, let's have a band together. I didn't have any second thoughts. I was like, yep, let's go for it. So I just tried to do my best, like try to get some form of kit here, start practicing again a lot. So
But you must have done all right because you got the gig. So
and it paid off.
That's it.
Very much this year.
That's it. Thanks, Leo. And Marcel, so how did you become involved? Was it just a chance meeting with George at the pub and he's yet to still buy around, or what was it?
Like before, I was in a band called Ambastia, but we never released anything that. So because of this band Ambastia, they are very close friends with the guys from Death Commander that George and Marek was part of.
Yeah.
And I knew then And then, yeah, last year, I think George sent me a message. Oh, Marcel, you're needing a guitar player. You want to join? And then, yeah, play. And then, yeah, Marcel, you're in.
So what do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as a rhythm guitarist, or are you a lead guitarist, just not shy in doing a solo here and there?
I'm more a lead guitar player. So Marek doesn't want to do the solos. I'm responsible for it.
All right, so Marek is the Trevor Perez, and you're the James Murphy then?
Something
Quite
like
right. Quite right. No, thanks very much. Just a wee bit of history there for you. But is there anything about the way that you recorded World of Abominations that you'll continue to use, and you've got a settled formula, or are you quite open to finding new studios and experiences, or do you think the formula that you have, you're happy with and you'll stick to it for now?
To tell you the truth, as long as we're gonna keep working like with the same producer,
Yeah.
I don't think I want to change anything, because I think all of us, at least like in the band, we're like super happy with the product. So we're like, sure. I mean, yeah, this is how it works, man. We like it. Hopefully, we're not gonna record like 3 different times, like the next album. But apart from that, yeah. Let's keep it the same way. I say, keep it safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love the sound of the album. I mean, it's still old school and it's raw and it's disgusting. But every instrument is heard clearly. And I wonder, George, if you had anything to do with being able to actually hear the bass in death metal. Is that anything to do with you?
Maybe. I'm not really sure, man. Seriously, like we had like the discussion like with the producer Mirek, and basically the guy asked us like, okay, what's the direction that you want to like go to, and give me like some examples of like sounds that you like for the bass, for the guitars, this and that. Well, obviously, like the same thing that came to my mind was like, okay, Alex Webster, please, Cannibal Corpse.
Well, you
I
got
don't know if that sound, but like overall, yeah, we ended up like being super happy with that. And I think that because at the time we were a trio,
yeah,
I think that's why we wanted like the bass to be a little bit like, in the front, because we were like kind of like, if we're playing a gig and we're just only the 3 of us and the bass is like just like in the front, let's keep it the same way for the album.
yeah. No,
Personally, I like it, obviously, as a bassist, but
I mean, absolutely. I mean, the bass in Black Death, for example, was like, wow. And then some of the riffs in that song as well. I've played you guys a number of times on Moshville Radio behind me. And Black Death is definitely one of my favourites. World of Abominations, obviously, and also Devoured as well. So yeah, it's not very common to hear the actual bass on death metal. So I apologize for that, and it doesn't sound out of place either. You can actually play the bass. That's what I'm trying to say.
it's because I'm a guitarist, that's why.
Good stuff. But going back to the recording of the album, how was the recording for you all? I mean, did it take you a good few goes before you're happy with your performance? Was there a song that you had to record over and over again? Was it maybe a solo that you didn't quite nail? Was there anything? Was it straight by the numbers, or was it?
I would say that like it wasn't really a performance issue. It was an issue like with the signal. That we were trying different like sound interfaces and different settings, and like we started even using like some different recording like programs and stuff like that, which I personally didn't use before.
Yeah.
It was a whole new experience.
Yeah.
But, just like I was set up like with like Cubase. I was working like with Cubase for so many years. I was recording albums with Cubase, and I never had any issues. But like, here comes the day that someone tells you like, no, man, that shit, you need to do it again.
But staying with yourself, George, what about how long did it take you to record the album? Time round.
Yeah, well, for the first time, the second time, or the third time?
The third time round. The one that I have in my hands just now.
I don't know, Leo, when did we start that? Was like about a year and a half ago, probably.
I think so, yeah. I think so.
So how did you structure it with your vocals? Because I was wondering if you'd done it like in a short period of time. Did you find it particularly rough in your vocals, or did you spread it out over a period of weeks?
No. But when I'm sitting down like to do the vocals, usually I'm doing it like in one day, like the whole album, and then the second day I'm doing like kind of the second vocals. Because obviously I'm having the chance to do them like in my flat. So it's kind of like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna stay here like for 8 hours, like screaming like crazy.
I'm
until
sure your
someone
neighbours love you. Yeah, I'm sure your neighbours love you.
And so far, believe me, I didn't have any issues. So they probably loved it. I don't know. I don't know.
No, but yeah, so I was just like wondering what your preparations would be if you're going to do a day solid of death metal vocals doing lines over and over again. Do you? I know some vocalists use things like Vocal Zone, or they drink tea, or they don't have the beers and the fags or anything like that. They drink a lot of water. What do you do to prepare yourself?
Nothing.
I knew it was a silly question. I prepared myself well for that question, by the way.
Seriously, I'm not joking. And I'm not pretending that I know what I'm doing. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going there. I'm doing it. And it's kind of like, okay, that works. I don't have like any like issues with my voice after that. So I guess I do something, that goes all right with my voice and with my body in general without even. So I don't know, man.
So what about when you're about to walk on stage then? What do you do for that?
Again, nothing.
Well, it obviously works. You're obviously just got it then, don't you? No, because I speak to like Jason from Ingested or Carl from Memoriam and things like that. They've all got their different routines and like even stretches. They do stretches before their gig, and they do like their lip rolls and things like that. But you just walk on stage. Fuck it.
No, you know what? Look, though, I would imagine that because we play gigs like once per, I don't know, 1-2 months or something. So we're playing for half an hour. So that in this way, I'm not like really tiring my voice. I'm not, taking it to the extreme. While those guys are obviously professionals and they're doing that every day for hours and hours. So I think that's the only, like excuse that I can find. This is like, it's not that I know what I'm doing. It's not that I'm a talented or something, but it's just that we don't do that very often. So that's why I'm kind of like lucky.
Well, do you know what? See, for my gig, I'm now going to make you the headliner, so you've got an hour's long set, so you better start preparing.
We don't have that song, so sorry.
So, Leo, how was the drum set up for you in the studio and things like that? How were things recorded for you? Did you change your snare sound, or were you happy with the way it sounded?
To be honest, like George mentioned, we try to do everything in the easiest way possible and in the most comfortable way possible. So we basically did all the work at home.
Okay.
And we also did the drums at home as well with my kit that we will have here at home. Me and George, we did them together over the course of a few days.
Again, how are your neighbors?
Well, they have to help us with this album, so you can only ask so much.
Did you use them as backing vocals, like gang vocals in the background? Go, shut up, and it's on. You put that on the album.
Actually, now with that, we're so lucky to have Marcel now. We're starting to do that as well. But yeah, like we said with George now, and you don't really realize this when you're just a metalhead. You know that about you haven't produced anything. It's like the playing. It takes a few days or couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But the production, that's the hard part. That's what took the most of the work and the patience and the back and forth, changing things, tweaking things.
Were you quite nervous because this is your first official release?
Yeah, but actually, yeah, when we started playing, maybe for the first couple of gigs or so, I was very nervous,
Yeah.
But very, very soon, I realized, I mean, being a metalhead all my life and being in the scene, that you just don't have to give a damn about anything. You just go and do it.
Nobody notices if you make a mistake live.
That's our motto, to be honest. We just do what we love, and as long as we are all happy and we love what we do, that's all we care about, to be honest.
Absolutely, mate. So, Marcel, like, how many gigs have you played with these guys then?
I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, something like that. I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
And How are you feeling like when you're on the stage with him? Like, are you keeping on looking to your right, saying you're out of tune there, or you've not played that right, or George, you miss your vocals there?
Don't think I just listen to Leo and then I just follow. He's the maestro of the band, and then he
True
doesn't
that.
make no mistakes. At least I don't hear anything. Just like always on tempo, I just follow him, and everything works well, and then everything flows well on stage. So,
Good
I
stuff.
don't know what they are. Maybe they are playing something out there. I have no idea. Just follow Leo. That's it.
Exactly.
I
Now
was
follow
trying-
the timeline, doesn't matter.
I was trying to get some gossip there, but it sounds as if you're like a strong unit. It might have taken you a bit of time to get together and things like that, but it sounds as if you're a very tight unit. And as you've already said, you released your album in February, but you've already got 8 songs ready, so or almost ready, you know. So fair play, guys. Fair play. Keep it going. Keep it going. So we talked, well, Leo and yourself, George, have said that it was basically recorded easily, like in the house and things like that. But I see that you got George Ceramitis. I hope I said that right. Apologies if I didn't. To
Close enough, yeah. Pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty good.
So you got him to master the album for you. But being back in Greece, was this a conscious decision to use him, or did you initially look closer to home and it didn't quite take off?
No, I know George like for years and years. We even had like bands together, like back in the
Yeah.
like when I was in Greece. So he studied like music production, and that was the first guy that I spoke. And in general, I have like a couple of people that I really, really trust on those matters, like when it comes to music production. And I'm always asking them, like, okay, what do you think about that? Should we change something like this? How does it sound? Or give us some advice. And George is one of those guys because, as I said, I know him since I was, I don't know, 18 years old or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, I spoke to him. I was like, look, man, you know, our producer is not really into like the mastering process and stuff. So would you like to do it? Would you like to get involved? And obviously, first of all, as a friend, and secondly, because he loved the band, he was like, yeah, man, that would be my honor. So this is how it worked, really.
So is this his debut as well? Type.
No. He used to play in a band called As I Suffer Silently. It's kind of like a doom death metal band in like the first albums of My Dying Bride or something.
Okay. That's piqued my interest.
Yeah. No. And I was helping him. I was helping him with that. And
Are they still active?
well, I mean, not really, because it was like a one-man band, and then he was just sending me tracks and was like, okay, put some solos here and there, you know, if you play whatever you feel. And I was like,
Right.
okay, sure, I'll do that. And also my previous band, Demonic Obedience, we started together in Greece, and then I moved in here, so I carried on like on my own, and then Mark joined, and another friend of ours, like the singer of Death Commander. So we released an album together, like with the guys.
Okay.
Yeah, as I said, I know him like for years and years. Now he's not really involved like into recording music.
Yeah.
He still like, you know, fools around like with production and stuff like that, like for friends, basically.
Yeah.
He's not, he does it like for, you know, like friends here and there.
No, absolutely. And they've done an absolutely sterling job in that. But yeah, talking of the visual side of the album, you got someone that, as far as I can see, again, has not done any cover art before. So would you like to introduce the artist and how you made this happen? And what did you give them to create the piece of art?
Right. So when we were looking for an artist like for the front cover, I was just like constantly on, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like, you know, on Google even, like kind of, you know, death metal artists or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we don't have the budget to get like someone like Dan Seagrave or something.
Well, maybe next release.
So what happened basically, it was like that I found, I can't even remember the site actually. It is a site that basically they're like random artists, like photographers or painters or something, that they're basically selling their work, right?
Yeah.
And I reached that girl. I think she's Ukrainian. I'm not really sure. I think so though. And we started chatting, and basically I told her like what we would like.
Yeah.
I even started doing it on my own, to tell you the truth. And like the same with the demo cover. I did it like because we're kind of, okay, let's do it DIY. Let's do everything on our own.
Well, as you know, that's Kendo's message, isn't it? DIY or die, but we'll get on to Kendo in a wee minute. So So what did you send the artist then? Did you send the album and the lyrics and the music and just say, there it is, you just do exactly what you want? Or did you do a rough sketch and say, this is what's in my head?
I actually did the painting. Not the painting that you see. No, really. I even like used the colors and stuff, and I was like, okay, you see that? Do it in a good way because mine looks shit. Unfortunately, I don't have it right now, but like I can prove it. I'm telling you, I can prove it.
No, I believe you. Why wouldn't I believe you?
Yeah, so the girl was like pretty happy to do that. She was like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Like that's all right. And it was very nice of her because she even sent me like the actual drawing by post. So yeah,
Wow.
actually, give me a sec. I have it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
There's a video of her like doing a time lapse of the drawing.
Yeah. She did. She uploaded it on YouTube. So there you go. That's it.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah.
Fantastic. What you're telling me, George, is you can't draw a perfect circle. That's why you got her to do it.
Oh, I'll tell you my secret. I use the sauce plate. Well, how you call it like that?
Come on, George, don't give away our secrets. Come on.
Sorry, man. Sorry, I know. Don't give me too much.
No, but I mean, Leo, we all know that you use your kitchen pots and pans for the drums and things like that. So
I kind of did at the start, to be honest.
it's
I'm
what it
the next chef. I used to work in the kitchen, so I have all the right to use like my utensils, you know.
if it makes a good sound, then why not friggin' use it? Absolutely. That's excellent. Thanks very much for that, guys. But also, keeping on with the visual side, we talked about the album cover, but what I have noticed quite a lot, actually, is your shirts. I mean, I saw Rich from Malediction down in Incineration Festival at the weekend there wearing a Tymvos shirt and stuff like that. So again, it must be another proud moment. You've got your tapes out there, you've got your vinyl out there, but you've also got shirts out there and people are wearing them and representing Tymvos. You must be proud.
Oh man, you have no idea, really. You have no idea. I mean, with the previous bands that I was playing for, or like, or I had like the bands before, and I had t-shirts. I still have them because I couldn't sell them. So look at that now. We don't have any t-shirts to sell.
I remember I interviewed, these names gone on the top of my head, that's terrible. But I remember interviewing Hellripper, and he had shelf upon shelf of like merchandise. And I'm imagining that's what your man cave is like, full of your old shirts, since you just said that.
Pretty much. Pretty much, yeah.
But again, the final part of the visual side then, have you thought about doing a video release for any of the songs off the album? You thought about going into any forests in Edinburgh or something like that and getting white light shining on you and things?
That was the first idea that we had, but no. No, it's just the thing that we are not big fans of like, being in front of a camera and just like acting up like, oh, now we're playing, oh, we're doing a video or whatever. That's why we did the lyrical video actually for the album, because we're like, man, I mean, come on. what
You're all good looking guys, so let your hair down and all the rest of it, but a good, I mean, I saw Blasphemer, for example, they just done something like in the studio or in a room, so but again, I'd imagine it all comes down to cost, because videos aren't cheap, and then you've got the production team that do the videos as well, so it's not cheap. But I just wondered if it was an idea that you thought of going down.
Yeah, so far we just said like, no, we that's not something that we really consider, but yeah, you never know, maybe with the second album.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the options and all of those things. Usually we're working with like a close like circle of friends, photographers or like artists or whatever, as you saw, like with the production and the mastering, as we said before. So we'll see, maybe, yeah, who knows.
Yeah, maybe put a wee bit of corpse paint on, things like that, and get your
No.
studs and your nails and everything out or anything like that. No.
We shall see.
Absolutely. But in relation to the songs then, so how were the songs constructed for the album? Are they the main songwriter to the songs, or did you feel that all members contributed to the songs?
Well, for the first album, we started recording like not recording. We started like writing riffs with Mark. Like for example, like Black Death was the first song that we ever wrote.
One of my favorite songs, by the way.
Oh, cheers. So yeah, that was like kind of like both of us. We just like contributed, like, oh, that's my part, that's your part, blah blah blah. And then just like it depends on who has like more time and more ideas. So yeah, it happened like just for some songs, like for me to send the guys like the song and be like, okay, what do you think about that? But
Yeah.
then when we're rehearsing them, we always like change them. So Leo puts his ideas, like when Mark puts like some second guitars. And as I said, like now with Marcel, we just like even sit down and we are writing actually songs together
Yeah.
before we even like start practicing them. It's being like, okay, oh, what do you think about this idea on the top of your part, or things like that.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Marcel in a wee minute, but still with the debut album, Leo, does that mean that you contributed ideas like riff-wise, or like did you wait for these guys to send you the riffs and then you did the drum parts, or did you come with ideas for the songs?
No, I only play the drums, and I've also used to write the lyrics for the band when we started. But now George fired me. He's the sole lyricist.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just
That's
kidding.
disgusting.
I don't know how to write lyrics.
No, it's like George said. Usually we have the meat of the song is usually always there for us, so we can
Yeah.
just individually prepare at home and maybe start preparing some ideas. But thankfully, the way we work, we just love working in the studio when we practice, and it's a very, very organic process when we start practicing songs. And now we're talking about doing that for the next album, because we already have the meat, like George mentioned, but it's a very organic process. We go there, everyone is prepared. But as we go along, everybody brings the ideas and the style and the sounds they want. For me, would be beats or feels or something like this. And vice versa. Some of the guys like Mark, for example, will have a great idea for like a drum part, for example, and we would be like, oh, that's amazing.
So,
But it's such an organic process, and that's the key to the success, I think.
so basically, what I'm hearing here, George, is that Leo does fuck all for a year, and then you're going to tell him in 2 weeks' time we're going into the studio, so you better get some drum parts done.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, since
I'm saving myself for the gigs.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's true. No, man. Like, it's the thing that just like obviously he's a drummer. He knows how to play the actual instrument. None of us know how to do that. So we're kind of like, man, you do whatever you want as long as it fits. That's what we want.
You heard earlier on in the interview that he was using his kitchen pots and pans. And telling him he knows how to play his instrument. No, good stuff. Good
And
stuff.
That will be for the 5th or 6th album when we go experimental. We'll start doing that.
Dark ambient release.
Yeah, and also as I said, sorry for interrupting you, but no, Leo is writing like a big part of the lyrics as well, so that's a massive help. Apart from the drums, obviously.
Yeah. Well, we're going to come to lyrics in a minute. We are going to come to lyrics in a minute, but I'm not going to leave Marcel without his say. In relation to the new material, then, did you find it quite difficult or easy to step in and realizing what a World of Abominations is, and you bringing your own ideas in? Did you find it quite difficult or easy to say, guys, I think we should do this for the next release?
It worked, I would say, very easy. Like what happens is a very easy process. Like me and George, we sit down, and then or me or George write a riff, and they're like, maybe we can do like this, like that, and then next riff, and I write something or George writes something, and then you start like building up. Oh, now let's do like a fast part. Now let's do like a more tupa part. Let's go like a just slow down a bit, go more slow, and then fast again. So and then you just. It's very organic. We don't have like, need to do chorus or verse or whatever. It's just like we just think, this work, and that's it.
Because that's what I was going to ask. I mean, obviously, you've got different influences than what George has, for example, or what Mark has, for example. So, how would you say you negotiate what stays in and what goes out of a song? Is there like blood in the walls, or is there fights in the studio and things like that, or is it quite an easygoing process?
I would say it's like even though we have maybe I mean, you have different influence, of course, but as long as it sounds this kind of old school death metal, I think we are open for. Even if it doesn't sound that old school, we are open. If it sounds good, yeah. But we are not very, very. I mean, maybe if it sounds a bit like, oh, this is too black metal-ish, and maybe like no, but everything in between is okay.
Yeah. What would you say your background is, your influences are? Would you say old school death metal, slam death metal, or would you say black metal? What would you say?
I listen to everything. Like I have no boundaries at all. But I would say for Tymvos, like what I love, like Carcass was one of my favorite bands. I listened to them a lot, like from beginning, even the Death and Roll era. I love them everything. And I mean Death. I mean George is wearing a Death T-shirt for tonight. I think one of the Cannibal Corpse as well. So
See, again, if you actually listen to my radio show, you would find out that I play old school death fucking metal, by the way. But I have yet to see you in the chat room. That's all I'll say about that.
Just dropping it here, like.
Yep, absolutely. Every Thursday, 8 till 10 o'clock. That's
Cool,
a
man.
plug there. But with you, George, being the vocalist of the band, well, you've kind of answered this question, because I was going to say, do you write all the lyrics, or do all members contribute to lyrics? But I was wondering, like, if you would like to discuss some of the lyrical themes, but I was wondering, are you the type of like lyricist where you've always got a pad and a pen with you, and you open the door and you see something in the street and you write it down, or do you read a lot of books? Do you watch a lot of documentaries? Where do you get your inspiration from your lyrics from?
Right, I'll tell you what, I suck at lyrics. I'm very, very bad at that. And thankfully we have Leo.
I didn't think that was going to be the answer from a vocalist of the band. Yeah, I suck at lyrics.
No, I'm not joking now. Just like I don't get like any inspiration like from whatever happens around me. I don't care. I'm just like, oh, that happened. Oh well, what can you do? But okay. Look aside, no, I read a lot. I read a lot of books, and yeah, we just like with Leo, we just play around like with different themes. To tell you the truth, it could be like something kind of dark fantasy, or it could be kind of like. I don't know, like I wrote, like, for example, Devoured is about a serial killer. A hitman, actually, not serial killer, yeah. Or which else? Like a World of Abominations was like out of a comic. Or yeah, things like that, like Black Death that Leo wrote. It's about like, the Black Plague and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's kind of like things that may happen, or just like, or it happens in reality or in your worst nightmares, as I like to say. Just like, everything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. But I've
I
got a
would say that, yeah, that's the inspiration, basically. Like something that's gonna make you feel sick.
I've got a funny feeling, Leo, that I'm going to have to ask a more responsible person for the answer to that question. So where do you get your inspiration from your lyrics from, mate?
Well, we always have the common thread, which is like whatever we're gonna do is gonna be lyrics for an old school death metal band. So that's always the common thread.
Anything to do with death, dying, being chopped in half or turned inside out, that'll do.
Yep.
It's just for me, I would have to say when I'm like in a lyrics mode, like when George used to write music and tell me like this would need some lyrics. I would be in a mode where every day I would be like going through the internet or playing video games or listening to music or watching movies and trying to have on the back of my mind the idea that or I need something to focus on. And but most of the time it really happens spontaneously. Like I would come across something and I would say, right, that's fucking badass. So I would start from this idea, like I want to write about this thing, And then what happens again is very organic, where George would give me like a skeleton of the song, the structure of the song,
Yeah.
and then I would come out with as much material as I could, and then it would be George's job to like trim it down, let's say, and make it into an actual having the actual form that's gonna go, because he, at the end of the day, he's going to be the one on the microphone. So it's his responsibility in the end to say how the song is going to look like.
So is it sometimes difficult for you to portray how you would like George to sing your your lyrics? Like when you write your lyrics, you can see George going, this is how he's going to sing them. He's going to go deeper, lower, whatever like that. But is it sometimes difficult for you to say to George, this is how I want you to sing them?
Actually, I'm gonna give away our secret sauce now. But George, actually, when we used to do this, he used to like actually prepare like a fake, like a folk song, like a mock song. So I actually exactly knew how he would sing my lyrics.
Okay.
So that's how we reached the great results, because we were all both on the same wavelength, knew exactly what everyone was doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But you get a wee bit annoyed when you feel that you've written the best lyrics that you've ever written, and then George comes in and he tweaks them. We'll take this line out here and we'll put this line in.
But to be honest, again, it comes from it would be the same like Marcel writing, I don't know, 3 solos for a song.
Yeah.
3 solos cannot go on a song. So again, it's like it needs to be proper, because it's one day you're gonna be on a record, one day it has to be played on stage.
Yeah.
So
Marcel's sitting back there saying, I can handle this. I mean, obviously you've got, Morbid Angel influences, but with 3 solos in one song, maybe you like Nocturnus as well.
Oh, no. Shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
No, I just, like I said, I always like to ask about where you get your lyrical inspirations from. I mean, I've had everything from a poem in every, there's like 7 verses, and every, like 1 verse is used per album type thing. Or I've had like a rap album where if it's a good rapper, then the last line of the song, then that's the killer line, and then he works backwards. I've had that before, so it's just very interesting as to hear how you get your lyrics from. But absolutely brilliant. But then, George, like with you being the bassist vocalist, did that happen by accident? Would you like to be strictly the bassist? Would you like to be strictly the vocalist? Or are you happy being both?
See, when we started like the band, it was just a matter of like, okay, who's gonna do what? Because obviously I am a guitarist and Mark is a guitarist.
Yeah.
So in that Commander, for example, Mark was playing the bass, although he's a guitarist, right?
Right.
So because we started and we were really like supporting the idea of being a trio. We were kind of like, man, like all the cool bands were trio, just like Motorhead and Old Creator or Sodom or whatever anyway.
Yeah.
So that's why we said like, okay, I'll handle the lyrics just because, I'll play the bass while I'm singing, because if I'm going to fuck up, no one's going to care, something like that pretty much. Now with Marcel in the band, it's even better, like, because no one is going to care about the bass. But no, it was, I think, a matter of necessity, being kind of like, okay, someone needs to sing. Who's going to do it? I was like, okay, I sang before, like in some other bands and stuff like that. And then...
So do you think you're going to stay as a 4-piece? Or do you think you will become a 5-piece and get a guitarist in, a bassist in, and you do vocals, or you go to bass and you get a vocalist in? Or are you happy the way things are?
I am actually very, very happy, and I would never imagine like that I would be so happy playing the bass. I actually love the instrument, man. I really love it. because it was that kind of like, okay, so you're playing, whatever you're playing on the guitar, I'm gonna do that, that thing over there and this feel over there, and it's gonna be like, okay, so that's me now.
Well, now that you are a four-piece and you got Marcel as a new guitarist and everything like that, are you going to bring a second mic to the stage and get Marcel to sing?
Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that yet. This is an exclusive, is it?
Actually, are planning like current, because all the songs they have backing vocals, we are not practicing like before with backing vocals, but you want to add the backing vocals to the stage, and then I will be doing them. So
I
let's see.
cannot stress how good seeing more than one vocalist on the stage is for the gig goer. I saw Niall and it was three vocalists singing like Black Seas of Vengeance. It's one of the best things I've ever seen. And I mean, obviously you've got bands like Despised Icon where they kind of do the, not rap, but you know what I mean. But I'm just wondering if Marcel is lower than you, George. Is he growlier than you, or does Marcel do clean singing? What is it?
I think the idea to me to do the high. I mean, not that I'm good at high. The thing, like, I'm just gonna sing just a few parts, not like the whole song. So just gonna add just a bit of contrast.
Not good enough. I think for the second album, you're going to have to bring Marcel more into the songs.
Absolutely, man. I'm up for that. Believe me, I'm more than happy with that.
And what came out of that, Leo, is George is quite lazy because he's quite happy for somebody else to do the vocals and songs.
Vocals, lyrics, solos.
He's carried us on his back for so long. I mean, and he's an old man, so how much can you take?
Do you know something, Leo? I bet he doesn't even bring his own equipment into the studio, into the gig and stuff like that. He says, I'm the vocalist of the band. I've got to talk to the crowd, the people that are there. Bring my equipment in.
You know what? I wish I would be like that singer, that I would bring only my microphone. Unfortunately, I don't.
No, you would probably go, oh, my microphone's too heavy. Sorry, can you bring it in? No, but anyway.
No, but I would say something that I can't remember if we said that to Marcel, but when we were talking with the guys like Mark and Leo, and we were considering of like bringing someone like to play the leads and stuff like that, Marcel was one of the first people that we thought, just because we knew that he was singing in another band. So we're saying like, man, that's gonna be like the best match, like he's a nice guy, he plays the guitar, he sings as well, so who can do like the double vocals?
Yeah.
Because, he came to the band and then all of a sudden he had so many things to learn, like all the solos and all of that thing. That's why we said like, okay, focus on the solos for now, and then for the vocals, like we're gonna get to that like at some point. And I think that, yeah, like pretty soon it's gonna happen. Pretty soon.
Yeah. Marcel, this is recorded, so you can rewind that back and play that to him many times that he says you're a good guy. So that's good. That's good. So yeah, you've talked about like getting together and things like that. So where do you rehearse? Where do you meet up and do your demos and record and things?
Recording wise, as Leo said before, just like we prefer like to do everything on our own. So just like it's not really like we're not even getting involved like in the studio situations and stuff. We sit down, we have everything at home, and that's us. Like more than happy with that. I mean, as I said, like as long as we listen like to the first album and we were kind of like shocked by the good quality of like what the producer did for us, we're kind of like, yeah, why not like carry on with that. Rehearsing though, yeah, we just like go to a studio, like in a rehearsal studio in Edinburgh.
Yeah, do you meet up like once? Well, how often would you meet up, would you say? Like, say for example, we're going to talk about gigs in the near future. So say like you've got a gig in a couple of weeks' time or a month's time, how often would you meet up to rehearse?
About like 2 or 3 gigs before the 2 or 3 rehearsals before the gig. That's it.
Wow.
It comes natural, man. It comes natural.
That's what I like about Tymvos. It's just raw. It's just natural and stuff like that. So, but that actually leads us on to live. So now that the world is opening its doors again and you can play live, you can play whatever you want. What does Tymvos have for us in future?
Well, we do play in 2 weeks from now in Edinburgh. Actually, I think that's a fantastic lineup. I think after the one on the dead of the winter, which was on January. This
Yes.
one is my second favorite so far. Because yeah,
Absolutely. What a gig that was. I mean, it was pretty much sold out from 2:30. I mean, for having like 100, 120 people there at 1:20 for the first band, Jaundice, it was just absolutely incredible. And unfortunately, we never managed to get it together to have an interview on that day, but we'll have opportunities for that to happen in October, I think, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
So what's
That's why
the gig?
so far it's like one of my favorite ones, because then it comes on October, so I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna keep it like for later on.
Well, before we talk about October, what's the gig in a couple of weeks' time then? What are you doing?
So Fetal Juice are gonna be the headliners, and then Brainbath are playing. There's a band called Demolition Hammer, I think,
Yes.
that they're from England.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Long time band. They'll bring the noise as well.
Jaundice are playing as well. We are playing, and there's another Edinburgh-based band, which is, I'm not really sure what it is.
Is it Primitive Voices?
No. Vivisect, I think.
All right, okay.
Yeah. I think one of those guys is like the promoter, actually.
Yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough. No, that'll be well attended. That'll be another good gig.
Yeah. I mean,
Make sure
in
you've got
my
plenty of
like,
merch at that gig.
yeah, pretty solid like lineup as well. Like all the bands are pretty good. I mean, we are friends with most of them as well, so that's great. To tell you the truth, this is what I'm looking for every time. Just kind of like, if we're gonna be playing like with friends, that makes it even better.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
That kind of gives you like the party mood, being kind of like, yeah, man, we're gonna be there, we're gonna play music, we love playing music, so we're gonna play with friends as well, we like their music as well, so there you go. That's the whole package.
And what I like about especially the Scottish death metal scene, I've yet, like when I interview bands, I've yet to come across egos. So everybody is looking out for everybody, and they'll help each other out. And like you say, when it's gig night, everybody goes to the bar and has a beer, and that's the way it should be, because at the end of the day, we're all fans of music. And when Scottish death metal is at a prime at the moment, I can't remember death metal in Scotland being so good. So yeah, you guys are bringing more to the table, and keep on doing what you're doing, man. So you've got a gig in a couple of weeks. Do you have anything over the summer before we get to October?
Not yet. We had a couple of offers, but we just decided that maybe that we should like kind of focus a little bit more on like writing some new songs and stuff like that. So we don't really want to be like the local band that plays every month, like in Edinburgh or Glasgow,
Yeah.
So we started being a little bit more picky.
Yeah.
I'm not, like if we're gonna get a good offer, yes, we're more than happy to do that.
Yeah.
And then we had some offers that, okay, I'm not gonna say any names or whatever anyway, that they were a little bit kind of like ridiculous, to tell you the truth. I am personally like not the biggest fan of promoters, but anyway, I'm not, as I said, I'm not gonna say
You
any
just
names.
watch what you're saying just now, right? That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah, just like people are following their path, whatever. Yeah, so it's some things that like don't sit like pretty well with me, and that's why we said no in one or two of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as long as we are happy, all of us, because that's how we work anyway. Like I'm always like, when I'm reading the emails, I'm asking the guys, like, guys, what do you think? It's like, that's my opinion, but if you wanna do it, like, yeah, let's fucking do it. It's all right,
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying to be happy, all of us, like to do something and not having any regrets of like, we're not really keen to do that, but whatever, let's do it for the sake of it. No. You just need to be 100% on, like, to go and play a gig.
It's difficult being a band when you've got like one release. You've kind of got to take like gigs in order to get your name out there. But the strength of World of Abominations, you can say yes or no to the gigs that you want to do, and you've got wise heads. So absolutely, mate, absolutely. And there's a certain gig, October the 5th, at the Flying Duck.
Yeah, I've been told about that. Yeah. No, we can't wait for that. We can't wait for that one.
It was brilliant seeing Blasphemer in Edinburgh. the wee red box as well. It was great to catch up with you guys. It was great to catch up with guys from Age of Summoning. Unfortunately, Kendo was there as well.
Yeah,
I was good to see Kondo from Suffering Rights, but yeah, you see, me and Kendo have got a thing going because he's on the other half of Glasgow than I am.
Oh, right. Okay. Fair enough. Is football involved? May I ask?
Yes, but I'm not bringing this into this discussion.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not bringing it into this discussion. But yeah, no, absolutely all brilliant guys, and it's an absolute honour to meet absolutely everybody, including your good selves. So yes, October the 5th, Saturday, the Flying Duck. We've got Blasphema headlining, Death Collector. We've got Repulsive Vision from Manchester. We've got Brain Bath, and we've got you guys, Tymvos. I cannot wait for this. Cannot wait for this. So,
We're really honored, like, to be invited in this lineup. It sounds like amazing, really. Sounds amazing.
and it's a no-brainer. And if you need somewhere to stay, I know places in Glasgow where you can get hotels. Yes, you can stay at mine if you need to stay at mine, or if you're traveling back through, that's perfectly fine. But you do
Thank
have
you
an
very
option. I've got a funny feeling there's going to be a couple of bands coming back here, so you're more than welcome. More than welcome.
Great.
But yeah, I've only got a couple of questions left. But with your current material, you've only got, let's say you play a gig, and I'm going to ask each and every one of you, including yourself, Marcel. You've got a 30-minute slot. What's the one song off the album World of Abominations that you're looking forward to playing the most, and why? So let's say you've got the set list in front of you. It might be the 4th or the 5th song, but I want to know what song off the album that you're looking forward to playing the most and why. And I'm going to start off with you, Leo.
Well, there's a reason why we put the title track first, because it's the best song. And I think it's our best song. I think it's, of course, it's my favorite. And
To be fair, it's the one that I've played most on the radio, but I do like Black Death, I'm afraid. And I do like Devoured as well, you know what I mean?
And then I would say Devoured. That's the most exciting for me coming up on the set.
Yeah. So is there something about the title track that you enjoy the most? More than any other song? Is there something that you do in the drums that...
Yes, the energy of it. The
Yeah.
energy. I think it's just perfect.
Yeah.
Especially if we have a packed venue. It's just perfect. It's just perfect. We just go and ready for the rest afterwards.
Absolutely. I think though, George, that you're going to have to ask him for a few more blast beats in there just to keep him on his toes, you know. Cool. Marcel, so yes, you've came in late to the frame, but you have played a number of gigs with Tymvos. But is there a particular song of World of Abominations that you are excited to play the most live?
Like, I'm gonna be very different from Leo, and there's also World of Abomination. Actually, Devour is like the ones that I enjoy playing the most. Even actually, Herald, the Malice is also one that I enjoy a lot.
So why is that?
I think the Herald one has a very good energy. Like it's a fast one, a fast beat. So I think it brings usually. I mean, the thing, like I like when people do mosh pitting like on. So I think Herald usually is a one that has a good beat for it. And yeah, as I said, World of Abomination, Devoured. I like the solo of Devoured, so that's another good one. So
I think George, he's going to bring some grindcore in. Leo, I feel sorry for you, mate. There's going to be blast beats on this new album, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I'll do my best.
It's gonna be my last interview.
He wants the faster parts. But George, what about your good self, mate? What's the song that you're looking forward to playing the most live, and why?
Right, I'll tell you why. Fuck them. They don't know what they're talking about. My favorite one is Foul Sanctity, because Foul Sanctity.
Are you sacking the rest of the band? Is that what you're telling me?
No, no, I love them as they are. You have to love them with, their faults. No. I actually really like Foul Sanctity. It was like one song that the idea came like quite randomly, just when I was like 1 year for holidays back in Greece. And it was like actually like 3 hours before my flight. And I just grabbed the guitar in there. I was kind of like fooling around. I was like, oh man, that's fucking awesome. I should write a song like carry on with that riff over there. And although it's like a simple one, I find it
Yeah.
like very, very straight to the face, kind of like, that's it.
Yeah.
No compromise, like pure death metal. And I like that, opening and ending riff because we're using the same basically. So yeah, I don't know. I find it like quite, fast, brutal, just like no compromises, as I said, like that's it, pure death metal.
I thought you were going to say because it's got the least lyrics in it, so you're lazy and you just don't have to do a lot of singing.
That is part of part of its beauty.
Cool. Good stuff, man. Excellent. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure interviewing you. But I do only have one question left, and unfortunately, it might lead to another 40-minute discussion because this is where I ask about the instruments that you used, the making models of the instruments that you used for the album World of Abominations. Now, Marcel, I know that might not involve you, but I will ask you, what is your making model of choice at the moment for the next album? So let's start with you, Leo. What did you use to record the album, mate?
We used a Roland TD1.
How many
And
pieces?
I've added an extra crash cymbal, which I've added. It's four piece with an extra cymbal, and my good old Iron Cobra.
So who were your influences? Like, what made you want to pick up the drums and, let's say, not be the lead guitarist or the vocalist, the main focus of the band? What made you want to sit in the back and do the drums?
You know what? And I really wanted to bring this up to see if you would agree, but and I've heard this from people when we play live, almost at every gig. And it's, for me personally, the way I grew up as a metalhead in my hometown and based on things I love, it's such a blessing to hear this. But everyone keeps telling me that we sound like old school Sepultura, which I absolutely love. So that would definitely be one of my influences.
Have you not got in touch with Sepultura on their last tour, or the last world tour, to see if you can open for them or whatever?
I'm gonna go see the Cavaleras though.
Yeah.
That's the real deal.
There's a lot to be said about that, isn't there? But yeah, I tried to get an interview with oh Christ, I can't remember his name, the guitarist that done Bestial Devastation, because he's got his own. He came back to music.
Oh, the Troops of Doom.
Troops of Doom. That's it. That's it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But he doesn't speak good English, so it would have been in Portuguese. So you can imagine what my Portuguese is like.
You can borrow Marcel.
Yeah, here's your man.
Right, Marcel, let's do it then. I'm absolutely up for that.
Later.
But yeah, so like, so were you happy with the initial snare sound on your drums, or did you have to tweak it a wee bit, or like, do you see yourself changing it for your next album release?
I actually, for the sounds, it was our producer, Mirek, who helped a lot with the sounds of everything, of every single thing on the even sounds that were not even on in our music. But I'm happy to say that, like, if I say that he elevated the material, that would be an understatement. I think in the end, we were more, I mean, personally, we were more than happy. It sounds so abyssal. The sound is so abyssal, so old school, so true, that it makes it sound 10 times better than what it actually is. So in the end, we were more than happy.
So you want the next release to be more your touch on the album?
I'm definitely sure there will be more of me, to be honest, because I'm actually not fully preparing yet, but I'm actually already, because George has already sent us a lot of ideas for the new material.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I already love the new material, but I'm also already preparing ideas and stuff. So over the next months, we're gonna start this organic process, as we said, and start practicing in the studio and see what we can come up with.
Very interested to hear it, mate. Very interested to hear it. But no, because if I go to George, then I've got two pieces of of interview to ask you about your instruments and blah blah blah. So I may as well go to Marcel then. So for the next album, then what kind of guitar do you have? What amps do you use, and what pedals do you have? What guitar do you have? Make and model.
So I'm very straight, very simple. Like actually, currently I'm using Marek's guitar for the gig. So like he has an Ibanez guitar. Not sure what's the actual model, but it's a good guitar. It's very soft to play. So I'm mostly using this guitar because it was already because we play in C standard the tuning, and like to like configure the guitar setup like it properly in C standard. Like my guitar that I have at home is standard E. So I'm using his guitar, but recently I bought a Jackson guitar. We still didn't record, let's say, anything with this Jackson guitar. Not sure what's exactly. I think it's a
Warrior.
yeah. It's
Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly, but it's like a late 90s or beginning of 2000s guitar that I got recently. And yeah, probably there is like a whammy bar Floyd Rose, so try to use all the the features of a Floyd Rose. And but like for the recording, like usually we just like use like a interface, and all the sound it comes like we just record the raw signal. And like Mirek, he did it for me. He did a miracle when I heard, because I mean he did everything. I'm not sure like with plugins or something, things like that.
Yeah. So if you were to play a gig tomorrow, what would you bring?
So what I use at the moment is a Boss Katana. That's the only thing that I bring. That's the amp, and it has a lot of effects like distortion, chorus, whatever I want to do. There's everything in this amp. So for me, it's a very cool and compact because it's not very heavy, and yeah, it works well.
So what you're saying then, he's the geek of the band. He's like got the pedal board with like 20 different pedals on it.
Oh no, that's Mark. Believe me. Team.
It's just the amp, plug the guitar. That's it. That's what I need for the gig.
That's what you do. You just get your guitar, get the wire, and plug it into the amp, and that's you, isn't it?
Okay.
Cool. That's old school. I like that. I like that. But let's go on to George then. What's your bass? In fact, I was going to ask Marcel. So, do you ever see yourself bringing like the 7-string guitar into this band, or?
No, we are two a 7-string guitar.
You're not bringing any progressive elements into the band?
Sorry?
The
You're not bringing any
breakdowns.
progressive elements into the band?
No, you play simple and old school. Like if you're gonna be like, oh, different tempos. No. I mean, maybe sometimes you do like slightly, but just because it's organic, not because you want to be progressive or anything like that.
Yeah. I put a video in a chat group that I'm in where the guitarist had 10 strings and the bassist had 11.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, fucking marvel. But I mean, that's fair play. Absolutely gifted and absolutely brilliant musicians, but I didn't really like the music, it's not old school. Not old school. But right, George, then. So what's your bass? What's your model? What's your setup? What's your amps? Blah, blah, blah.
So I'm playing a 4-string PV grind.
I thought you played the 5. I thought you played the 5.
No.
No 5-string?
4 strings there. The less the better.
I just when I heard Black Death, I mean, that's 5 strings in that bass.
No, it's just like that we're using like a 2 steps down tuning on C.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having that, and I'm using 2 pedals, like pretty simple actually. The one was the Tube Screamer that every bassist like in death metal is using. And recently I bought like another one, Electro Harmonics Soul Food, it's called, because I just wanted like to put a little bit more distortion. Like so far I wanted like the, clinky, like bass or something, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just decided like to buy something more, like to put a little bit more of dirt basically on my sound. and I used to have a PV Mark IV bass head, but that was like 20 kilos. I absolutely hated it. Although, believe me, it's like, everyone says that that's probably like the best amp that PV ever released, and it's like disconnected and all of that. Man, no, I couldn't deal with that anymore. So I bought one Warwick Gnome, which is, believe me, it's like that size. I'm just putting it like in my gig bag, and it does like an amazing job. I mean, I played twice so far, like a gig with that. And the actual like sound guy told me, "Oh man, you need to turn it down." I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Wow, okay, cool." But yeah, I'm not a big fan of like as Marcel said, I'm not a big fan of like putting shitloads of like pedals and distortions and things like that. I just
No,
want
it's too heavy. It's too heavy to carry into a venue, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's a typical lazy guy,
But just the last question with yourself, George, like when it comes to like recording the vocals, have you tried like a different set of microphones and you eventually found the one that you like, or are you just a guy that give me an SM50 and I'll fucking sing in it?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Actually,
I had a
far,
funny feeling that would be the answer.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, I was recording so far. I had a condenser, right?
Yeah.
Because this is what I've been told, like from those Greek friends of mine, the producers, they were like, "Yeah, a condenser is what you need." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I bought one and was doing like releasing albums with that, and I was pretty happy. And then Mirek comes and tells me like, "No, fuck that shit. You need like the SM58 or 85 or whatever the name is." And I was like, "All right, cool. I'll buy that." But yeah, no effects, nothing. Just like I'm going out and that's it. Just the microphone.
Yeah, you've got some set of vocal cords on you, so fair play to you, sir. Absolutely fair play to you. But can I just say it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. I know it will not be the last time I'll talk to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you live in the flesh, whether it'll be in a couple of weeks' time or whether it'll be in October the 5th. I will definitely be seeing you live. I definitely look forward to see what you guys do next, since you've already got a lot of songs in the pipe works, and hopefully something towards the end of the year. Have you thought, like, are you going to do like a single before the end of the year and then maybe a full release springtime, or are you hoping for sooner than that? Or
I imagine that we could like release something before the actual album, but yeah, time will tell, to tell you the truth, because as we said, like it's only like very primitive versions of the tracks right now, so we don't really know if we're gonna keep them.
Yeah.
We keep writing. Like we have 8 songs, I think, so far, but we still have like loads of ideas, and we're kind of like, okay, oh, you have something new, okay, bring it on. We'll see. Whatever works.
Absolutely. Well, I'm very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to playing you guys more on the radio station, and looking forward to seeing you guys very soon in the flesh. So it's been an absolute pleasure talking to Tymvos, and I wish you the best of luck. And I hope World of Abominations goes that wee bit further. Get it through Kendo, get it through Macho Records, and I've got to mention this. I forgot about this. You got Kendo to do a guest solo, didn't you?
Indeed, yes.
How many times did you say, "No, this isn't good enough. You need to do it better"?
No. He came like he was very well like prepared. He was sending me even videos, but just like he was telling me, "Man, you know what? Like I'm not a man of technology, so can I please come to your flat so you can handle like the program and I can play the guitar?" I was like, "I'm happy with that. Bring it on." But no, he came, he nailed it, and that was it, man. Yeah, he did a brilliant job. We really like the solo as well.
Yeah.
He's a good friend, so yeah, it was an honor really to have him like on board.
I bet he played his solo with his black sunglasses on. I know that. So no, he's a great guy. Kendall from Brainbath. Get Tymvos. World of Abominations from Macho Records. Get it from Tymvos, the band, as well. That's what I love. Is like you can just message the band directly and they'll always answer now, the way social media is. So I respect you guys for doing that as well. And it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys, and it won't be the last time either. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having us.
Cheers.